We back for our predictions and things. How to get that brightness back up a little bit. I'm excited for all the stuff going on across the league. A lot of fun things, and we're gonna have our previews for the season. Definitely a lot of stuff that's gonna be going on. A lot of fun races going on, both just in the standings and in the race for the playoffs and all of that, but also in the awards and across the board too. So good stuff there. And I want to start actually just with the conferences. I think having our conference picks and then going into the awards is the right way to do it. So I'm interested to see how you rank teams this year. Alec, we'll start in the East. How you have the East playing out this season?
Okay. I actually did all 15, so I'm going to go from bottom up. In the last spot, I got the Magic. In that 14 spot, it hurt because we got Ben Mathurin on the team, but I got the Pacers at 14. And 13, I got the Pistons. I like some of the moves they made. It's just some of these other teams I think are a little bit deeper, a little bit more experienced. But I like the Bogdanovich move. I like Cade. I like the draft pick and Jaden Ivey. I just think inexperience will kind of hurt them this year.
Correct.
But solid. 13, 12, I got the Wizards. They just don't have enough top end talent for me. They have Bradley Beal, who's all-star caliber. Kuzma's been solid in his role there. Porzingis, like I said, I don't think Porzingis has that dog in him. That's a eye test thing. That's not stats or whatever or analysis really, but he just doesn't quite have that like motor to like I want to be best player in the world kind of thing. Like he's just like comfortable getting his 10 or 20 and 9 or whatever, but it's not like impacting winning a whole lot. And then the rest of the roster, it's like they got Monte Morris starting at point guard, and Danny Advia is like projected to be in the starting lineup too. So it's yeah. At 11, I got the Hornets. I think they were 10 last year, but they're not going to have Miles Bridges. They're still going to have offensive firepower between LaMelo got hurt, but LaMelo, Rozier, Hayward, PJ, I guess Plumlee. But that team still can't guard anybody. Like that was their problem last year, and I think it's a similar thing this year. So I got them at 11. I got the Knicks at 10.
Hold on. Actually, let's do this. Before you go to the playoffs, I'll say my bottom 5 real quick, too. Okay. And then we'll do the playoffs. So, actually, for my bottom 5, I have the Magic at 15 as well. I actually have the Hornets at 14 because of the lack of LaMelo to start the season off. I think starts off in a real bad foot. And then just seeing the lack of defense. There were talks last year about Gordon Hayward wanting to get out of there and that he wasn't satisfied with how things were being ran over there. They had a whole lot of stuff going on. So I have them actually at 14. I think they are actually play a lot worse than people may expect. Sadly, I think I have the Pacers at 13. Sorry, I messed it up. So Magic, I have the Magic at 15. The Hornets at 14. I have the Pistons at 13. I actually have the Pacers at 12. Because while I do see what you see in the Pistons and think they can play well, also I think the Pacers having vets over there with the Buddy Hields and guys still, even though they are going to be in a rebuild situation, vets like that can get them a few more wins than the Pistons squad, who is pretty much all young guys, including Marvin Bagley, who's going to be out for 5 weeks to start the season, and things like that really play their part. Teams get into a bad start and it just kind of derails them all year long. So I have the Pistons at 13, Pacers at 12, and I have the Wizards at 11. So we have the same bottom 5, just slightly switched order.
Okay.
But now for the playoff guys,
you want to go 5 and then 5?
No, for now for the playoff race, we can go for the rest. I just wanted to get the bottom 5 out the way first. So now go for the rest of them.
Okay, so at 10, like I said, I got the New York Knicks. I think they will be in playing contention. I do like Jalen Brunson. I think he'll be a solid point guard for them. Not all-star level by any means, but I think he will be really good for them. RJ, I think, will take a little bit more of a step. He's already taken steps each year. I think he'll be good. I think he'll be their best player, actually. Randall right there, too. But Randall seems like Randall's kind of hit his peak, so I think he'll be their second best.
You know how
I feel. So, I got them at 10. I don't think there's a whole lot to look forward to. I don't think they took a major drop-off, but I don't think they took a major step forward.
Not compared to the rest of them.
Yeah. At 9, unfortunately, because I like this team a lot, is the Bulls.
I agree. Yeah, I had them there too. It hurt. I was like, wait, I have them at 9? But yeah.
And so it's play-in, so maybe they can get in the sneak in the playoffs. But Lonzo being out to start hurts. We saw it hurt them in the second half of the season.
That's all
they were rolling. They were rolling to start.
Yep.
When they were all healthy, they looked like the best team in the league for a while when they were all healthy.
Agreed.
But Lonzo being out really hurts. Like, no discredit to Caruso or Io or any of them, but it's a drop off for sure. And then Vucevic, I feel like there's trade talks around him usually, just because he's not quite the defender. He
wasn't the big three third piece as they hoped. So yeah.
DeRozan, I don't know if he has quite as good a year as he had last year. That's tough to match, but I think he plays a good season again. LaVine just got to stay healthy. That's another concern of mine. He's a 40, 50, 90 guy, but his health is concerning. So, yeah, it was tough to put them there at 9. I really like the Bulls a lot.
I had triple take on that, man. I feel you on that. I feel you.
Yeah. At 8, I got the Hawks. Actually, there's a lot of good teams, actually, in the mid to top of the East, I think.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of them shuffling. But at 8, I got the Hawks. I like the DeJounte Murray addition. I think they have a solid roster. The starting 5 looks good. They have some issues in the past. I don't know if they get through those with DeAndre Hunter, Bogey, and that kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, I think they have a deep roster. They got to prove that 1 year wasn't a fluke to me, because last year was bad and they brought back much of the same team.
Yep.
So I gotta see it, and I gotta see DeJounte on a not bad Spurs team, like how he plays on a good team. So
play to win a game for once.
Exactly. I mean, he was on real Black Air Force energy this summer with Paolo Banchero, but I want to see it against the other big dogs in the East, not the Magic. So
yep.
At 7, I got the Raptors. That was hard because I think the Raptors are going to be good, and they have a great coach. I think Scotty takes another step forward. And they have a 5 that has pretty solid chemistry. Nurse kind of runs those guys into the ground. So I think they'll have some injury concern again with like OG Anunoby. And
right.
So that's kind of my concern there. And then I don't think they're deep, like their bench. So
they have a couple guys, but
they have a couple guys. They got what's his name? Like Chris Boucher and a couple other like small 4s, but
right.
I like some of the top end talent on these other teams a little bit more, but they got the playoff experience, so we'll see. They could be higher for sure. At 6, I got the Cavs. I like the addition of Donovan Mitchell. I like the Twin Towers that they got in Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. I think he takes a step forward too. I'm going to talk about him later in one of these award categories.
Mm-hmm.
I think LeVert, I'll talk about him in another award category. Off the bench, he's going to be nice for them. I think they're going to be good. I just think some of these other teams are going to be slightly better, and I've already proven it to us. So I don't see them any higher really than 5. I got them at 6 though. I got the Nets at 5. That was kind of a gamble because they were a play-in team last year.
Correct.
Ben is a huge question mark. Obviously, Kyrie is Kyrie. You don't know how many games he's going to play. KD has had his injury concerns. So you don't know how many games he's going to play. But when they do play, they're going to be a problem, I think, for a lot of teams.
Correct.
Ben helps them defensively for sure. He hurts them offensively, but that doesn't really come into play until the playoffs, I think, when you're matching up against the same team for at least 4 games.
Right.
During the regular season, it's a lot more spread out offense and a lot more high scoring. So I think they'll be fine in the regular season for the most part, as long as they're on the floor. And it's a really dangerous trio if they are all clicking. So I got them at 5. The Celtics got at 4. I would have them higher as having gone to the chip last year, but they lost Ime Udoka. So that's a big hit.
It is.
They have one of the better starting 5s, I think, a complete 5, as well as adding Brogdon, who's maybe going to be off the bench. So I really like their roster there. But Ime, I think, is a huge hit, especially defensively, just how he had them playing. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see like how they respond to not having their head coach who just took them to the finals. So yeah, I got them at 4. They could potentially be higher. I don't really see them being much lower because I think they are really good.
The talent is still there either way. I agree.
At 3, I got the Heat. They lost PJ Tucker. They were the 1 seed last year. I forgot that they were the 1 seed.
Yeah.
But losing PJ Tucker does hurt. He's by no means an offensive weapon, but defensively and just the makeup of that team, like how they want to play, their mentality, losing him hurts. And their starting lineup without him looks not as strong. It's like Kyle Lowry, who's kind of on the decline. Jimmy Butler. Then you got like Caleb Martin and Bam, obviously, and I don't know who else. Maybe they start Duncan because I'm sure they're bringing Hero off the bench again.
Right.
So slight decline from last year, but they're still a really good team, and they have one of the best coaches in the league. So I still got them top 3.
I'll share my list in a second, but go ahead. Yeah.
Number 2, I got the Bucks. I think that they're still the favorite to me in the East with Giannis, but I don't think they care about being the 1 seed. I think they care about having home court advantage, and they take care of business, so they're going to win a lot of games as long as they're healthy. But I don't think they're going to be pushing for the 1 seed necessarily. And at 1, I got the Sixers. I think Philly's going to be really good. I like the 5 they put together. The Philadelphia Rockets, if you want to call it that, the way Daryl Morey.
A little bit, yeah.
I think James Harden is going to have a bit of a bounce back. I think Embiid is going to be Embiid once again. And I like adding PJ Tucker. I like getting it's DeLon, right?
DeLon, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I like having him as a 6-man. I think that's going to be a crucial piece that's maybe slept on. Maxey is going to improve as well. I think Tobias as your 4th option is really good, to be honest.
Not the second. I told you he can't be a top 2. You didn't want to hear me.
Hey, I mean, I think you're right. I think you're right for the most part. Like, it didn't work. It didn't work with him as the 2nd option.
I think Tobias could be. I was like, I don't think so. I'm like, all right, man. Whatever you say.
But I mean, like, if he's relegated to 4th, like, I think you're in a good spot because he is a guy that can get 20 points a game still too. So, I think the Sixers are going to have a great regular season. It's just going to be in the playoffs. I don't know if they can get over that hump.
Agreed. So one last rundown from 10 up. Just read through your top 10.
So 10 Knicks, 9 Bulls, 8 Hawks, 7 Raptors, 6 Cavs, 5 Nets, 4 Celtics, 3 Heat, 2 Bucks, and 1 Sixers.
Yeah, that's a strong. I can see it playing out that way. We're almost in sync, but I have a couple that are actually some, I guess, compared to you, some big jumps.
Okay.
So for me, I have the Knicks at 10, which I think you also had. Yeah. I have the Bulls at 9, which I think you also had. But now when the switch ups come, I actually have the Raptors at 8.
Okay.
I think you had the
Hawks. 7.
Yeah. I had the Hawks at 7. So I had the Hawks Raptors flipped.
Yep.
Yeah. I think the Hawks had a good season, I guess, just a little bit better than the Raptors at least, and actually can build off of that pairing in the backcourt with Trey and them. But in the tough East, the 7 still, I think is a good spot for them. And then they were the 1 seed last year, and they were pretty good. I actually have the Hawks the Heat at 6. The Heat here. I think losing guys like PJ Tucker are very impactful. I think having to rely more on guys like Duncan Robinson could be an issue for them. While he is a good piece himself, I think another thing, kind of like with the Lakers, I said, vacuum it seems nice, but I think other teams really capitalize against him and neutralize him, as we saw many times in the playoffs where he wasn't as effective as they would have hoped.
Right. He wasn't even on the floor a lot of the time.
Yeah. Things of that nature are going to play their part. I like the Martin twins or whoever they have there, but I don't think they're going to do enough. in the East with all the size that a lot of these teams
Max
have.
Strus too. That was the guy I forgot.
Max Strus is cool, but I think the hype is fading with him this year. He'll be decent, but I don't think it's going to be enough to elevate them to the 1 seed as we saw. Jimmy Butler's another year older. And while he still is him, I like Jimmy Butler a whole lot. I just think the teams above them can do enough to separate, at least enough to have the Heat at the 6. As you also had, I have the Nets at 5. As great as they are, they have potential to be top 3, but I don't think they play enough to get top 3. They play enough to get 5 though, and we'll stop there. I think I have the Cavs at 4. I think we actually see a whole lot of improvement from that team with the addition of Donovan Mitchell. I think there was a lot of hype at first, and then it was like, oh, back to reality. But I'm like, no, this team actually has a lot of talent there. Alongside what I believe could be a very great season from Evan Mobley fight on, whereas Jared Allen and all the other guys on that team, I think there's a lot of good pieces. And not having another star alongside them, definitely that impact is going to be felt. So they're going to be top 4. Even without Ime, I have the Celtics at 3. I think that talent still, it hurts to say as a Laker Kings, whoever fan, hurts to say. I think the talent is undeniable. With the additions they made, even losing Danilo for the year, I believe, with the ACL tear, having a vet like Blake Griffin off the bench, impact-wise, whether as a leadership thing or whatever, that surely will play its part alongside all the other great pieces that we already know to be there. So that definitely is going to be a good thing to watch. From them, they'll be the third seed. I actually then have the Sixers at 2. As great as I believe that they're a season they're going to have, I believe Harden and I believe Embiid and Harden both can be MVP type guys this season. Put on shows. I believe the hype in regards to all the things that Harden's been saying about changing his body and getting back into shape. I believe that there was a lot I think we didn't acknowledge enough the movement he was doing between teams for the past couple seasons and the effect that played on him. I believe having stability now on a team that really wants to believe in him and fully give him the keys alongside Embiid, who Embiid wants a guy next to him that can take him to the promised land. I think they can get there. But I think also at the same time, as great as they're going to be, that Giannis and that squad over there is undeniable. And while Drew and Chris may not be perfect, I think they can do enough yet again to slight edge out the Sixers in this regular season race and get the 1 seed. I think Giannis wants to get back to the promised land and will do what all needs to be done to do so, including having a great regular season. So I have the Bucks at 1. So just straight through, Knicks at 10, Bulls at 9, Raptors at 8, Hawks at 7, Heat at 6, Nets at 5, Cavs at 4, Celtics at 3, Sixers at 2, Bucks at 1. Alec, you say what?
I like that for the most part. I think you talked about the different reaction like to the Cavaliers trade initially and then later. I initially was already like, this team's no better than a 6 seed to me. I think they improved. I think they became a playoff team immediately when they traded for Mitchell. But
I like Garland a whole lot.
I love Garland.
Levert to get healthier and having a solid season.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't, Okoro is in that same similar role. Okoro improves. Again, Mobley is there. Jared Allen's in the front court. Kevin Love is still in that 6-man role. So they have a lot of pieces. Bickerstaff is a great coach himself, and I want to salute him for what he's done turning around that team. And I just think they have enough pieces to get into a 4 spot. We've seen in the past Donovan Mitchell is a regular season guy. It can get you a 1-2 seed. So we have the exact same in the East, but I think they can get up to 4, and I believe that's where they'll be.
Yeah, I think I said 6. I think I could see like 5 at best is what I could see, because I could see them being better than the Heat.
Correct.
But I can't see them being better than the Sixers, the Bucks, the Celtics, potentially the Nets because of the question marks. But basketball-wise, I don't see them being better than the Nets.
Because of the question mark is why I put them above.
Got you.
So I think they play more. Even if last season they lost Sexton for a whole part of this big chunk, and that didn't play its part. I think if you lose Garland for a little while, I think Donovan is in better position to carry that team than Sexton was and keep them afloat. And vice versa. I think Garland definitely has improved this year as well. and can keep them afloat if Donovan's out and however things play out. So
Yeah,
I think they're in a much better. They're improved from last year, and it'll show, and they'll get that 4th spot.
Gotta pour one out for Sexland. It's gay sex now, right?
God. Oh my God. Yeah, that's what they're saying in Utah.
Right? Rudy
of all places in Utah, they got that going on. Yeah, it's wild, but yeah, gotta pour one out for them. And I actually do like what Utah has building over. We'll get to the West in a second. But even with the mess, I guess you want to call it, over there, I do respect the talents of the guys that are remaining, Clarkson, Conley, whatever. We'll get to it in a second. But yeah, for the East though, I like the Cavs at 4.
Yeah, I think I understand Melo's gonna be out for a bit, but I think you're a little too low on the Hornets because I can see them threatening for a play-in spot just because they brought back Steve Clifford, or the head coach, who had them at some stability. Like they weren't a great team, but that they were a playoff team.
Sure.
And I think that helps because I think he's a better coach than Borrego was. And I think LaMelo, like once he gets back, like we'll be back into that all-star form. And I think they have vets on that team. So the issue is the defense, but I think the veteran players on that team will be better than like the Pistons and the Pacers. So
got it.
Yeah.
I hear you in that. I think just sometimes when the teams, as we saw with the Lakers and other teams, you get up to a bad start and it just leaves a stench for the whole season. And having LaMelo potentially out for a little while, I think is going to play a large toll. And while I do respect Rozier and Hayward and things and guys over there, while I respect them from the outside as players, them potentially not wanting to be there or whatever things are going on behind closed doors, but the culture is still trying to get cleaned up over there because there were a lot of guys getting in trouble and things. Maybe it says the name of Miles Bridges and that situation went on as well. Having that go on, I think will take its toll on the end result. I think they're going to be one of the teams where we said if you're stuck in that 10-11 range, you might as well drop down, try to go get Victor. I think they're going to be in that situation this year, and because they're going to be floating around playing range, they'll say, "Forget it. Let's try to go get Victor instead," and make Mike sell later on in the year. So yeah, I got them at 14, and then I do also at the same time really like Cade and Jaden in the backfield in Detroit. I really like.
You said in the backfield.
In the backcourt. We just in the NFL episode right before this. Still in NFL mode. I like Cade and Jaden in the backcourt in Detroit.
Yeah.
I like oh my God.
I
like Halliburton and Matherin in Indiana.
Yeah.
I think they can outplay the Hornets there. So yeah.
But no, I got no other major qualms. I think we were pretty close in the other standings. For the
got it. So we won't stay here too long. Let's move on to the next. Now for the West, certainly it will be just as intense. How you the West playing out?
You want to stop after the bottom 5 again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so at 15, I got Houston still. I do like I don't love though. I do like the draft pick of Jabari Smith, but I don't know that he makes a huge impact this year. We talked about it briefly because I was talking about how I wasn't as high on Jalen Green off air. I think they just kind of play like an AAU team at the moment, and maybe that does change with Silas again this year. But the type of players they have on the roster are kind of a lot of those type of one-on-one young players. There's not a whole lot of veteran leadership there, so I think it's pretty much like Eric Gordon is the veteran leadership, and everyone else.
He may get shipped out soon. They want to ship him for another young piece.
Probably, yeah. So I don't see them winning a whole lot of games. They might be fun, like have a fun offense and that kind of thing, but yeah. 14, I got the Spurs. Keldon Johnson is their best player. I wanted to give him a little more love because Popovich is still the coach, but the roster is, again, very young. No all-stars on it. That goes for both of these teams. So, yeah, I got them at 14. 13, I got Utah. I think they still have a couple vets there, but I think they might get moved. Like, I don't know if they want to keep Conley there. and there was one other vet I'm blanking on that I think they might move as well too. I like some of the young pieces. Oh, Olenek, that's probably who they're going to trade as well too. I don't think he stays the whole year.
Right.
There's some young talent. Like I like Laurie Bear Down, of course. THT I think has potential to pop somewhere. I don't know if it's Utah or somewhere else, but I think he still has a lot of potential there. He's really young.
Right.
Colin Sexton is good too. But as a whole roster together, it's kind of nasty. And they have a rookie head coach as well from Boston. So I don't love their prospects of this year. At 12, I got OKC. I mean, we see Sam Presti, you know, the meme, like what is he cooking or whatever? Like
what is that guy doing over there?
we see he's been collecting the picks. He's plotting something. He's plotting a big move. And I think they did draft well, obviously. Like they got Chet. He got hurt though, so that hurts. Don't know if they flip SGA or if he remains. I still love Josh Giddey. I think he was in contention for rookie of the year when he was healthy. What'd you say? Giddy up? Yeah. I like that. I like that better than Broncos country. Let's ride.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like a lot of the young pieces they have. Dort too, obviously. But I just, again, another team with no all-stars. SGA's fringe, but that is not going to happen in a stacked West.
Got it.
I don't know if they're going to be tanking, but I don't think they're going to be winning significant amount of games.
Got it.
The Blazers I got at – oh, no, sorry. I got the Kings at 11. My bad. The 11 seed Kings.
Yet again. Okay.
The perennial 11 seed Kings. Now, this is not to say that I don't think they will be like competitive this year, because I do think they have some talent on that roster. I like Sabonis. I like Fox. Keegan Murray, I think, is a good rookie. Who else did they trade for? Hoarder, I think, is going to be a good piece for them.
Hoarder. They got Malik Monk.
Yeah, Malik
with Aaron. Yeah.
But this West is going to be very, very nasty. Like, there's going to be a lot of teams that are very good and very competitive, as we will see. I shuffled a lot when I was putting this list together.
Understood. So did I. I still might shuffle right now. Let's see.
Yeah.
But stop at 10, and then, like you said, bottom 5, then I'll do bottom 5, and then we'll go from there.
So that's the bottom 5 right there. The Kings at 11, just out of the play-in.
Got it.
Yeah, that hurts.
I disagree. So, but I hear you, understand, because I got him at 10. I guess I'll spoil one. But going 15 up, 15, I have the Spurs. I think they are just ready to have a full rebuild and see great potential in this draft. And if there's any two team that's tanking, I think they're truly tanking. In the same way, I think I have the Thunder at 14. And they have talent there, as you pointed out. But I think they're going to catch a few injury bugs throughout the season that are going to properly position them where they need to be. They already got SGA going to be out for a little while, I believe. Yeah, his ACL thing's going to be out for a little while. Chet's already supposed to be gone for the season. Giddey might sit down for a little while. We're going to see. I don't want to put anything in the air, but just saying.
I hate that.
They might position themselves properly to properly utilize these picks as hoped. So I have them at 14. Then here are the Jazz. Just because they're going to be a team they're going to be one of them teams that's tanking but not trying to tank. I think guys like Sexton and Conley and all those kind of vet type guys are going to want to put up respectable fights. They just won't have enough in the end to get victories. And I actually have the Rockets at 12. I know I kind of waited a little. It seems like, but I had the Rockets at 12. Though they do have the AAU style, I do like the guys that are over there and think that a shift can be made in that organization. I really like Jabari Smith. I'm a little bit higher on him than you are. I think that could be a right piece for them to start turning the corner enough to go from 15 to 12 at least, as I said. And I like the core that they're putting together there. So I have them at 12. Now the Blazers at 11. And it's really not. And while I do like the talent that's there,
we got them flipped because I got Blazers.
I understand that. And I like the talent that's there. I just, outside of Dame, and you might even these days throw Dame into it, I just don't trust the health of the guys on that squad. Nurkic as the big down low, he is the guy that has shown that while he definitely has talent, can't stay on the court anymore following those those leg injuries that he had. Sadly, I definitely respect the talent that's there, but the reality is he has been on and off the court a whole bunch these last few seasons. Dame has had his injuries in recent years now, and if they're in slight rebuild mode, which I believe they are, we might see a lot more of the youth pieces there. I know they were trying to buy in
more. Off, though, so he's coming back healthy. Dame.
I know they were trying to buy in more. I think Jeremy Grant just got there, and that definitely is a nice piece. But I think I think there are a lot of times on one end. I think certain moves that should be highlighted more in regards to like Donovan Mitchell get hyped for a moment and then dismissed too fast. And on the other end, I think moves get hyped up that aren't as big as people seem. And people said Jeremy Grant is finally going to be that wing type guy, and the Blazers got a few wings over there. Shaden Sharp in the draft as well. That are supposed to be pieces that turn them back in the right direction. Yeah. But I think it's going to take a year for them to get that back under control because Shaden had his injuries himself in college and still finding his way. And I just think they're a team that sadly is just going to be just fighting to stay together, I guess. I mean, in a way, I'm at the bottom of the West there. So I had them just outside the playoffs. And then, we'll go from there. But that's my 5. Spurs, Thunder, Jazz, Rockets, Blazers as the bottom 5 of the West. Now you can go ahead and go 10 up.
Yeah, I mean, if the injury bug hits them, I could see that. Healthy, though, I don't see a Kings team being better than them. If that 5 is healthy, between Dame, Simons, Grant, whoever at the 4.
Well, I'll acknowledge that in my 10 when I talk about the Kings being at 10. But
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So at 10 I got the Blazers. You just talked about them, so don't really need to go too deep into that. At 9, I'm interested to see where you have this team. At 9, I got the Phoenix Suns. Any quick thoughts? I'll let you go where you got them, but
I can't tell if they're going to be a 2 seed or a 10 seed.
I agree.
So I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah. I put them there not because they're not good. I think as currently constructed, they are good. We've seen they've had a lot of regular season success the past 2 seasons. They were the 2 or 1 seed last year, right? But it doesn't look like they're going to bring back Jay Crowder, which I think is a problem for their success a bit. You're probably going to have to throw Cam Johnson into the starting lineup.
He's ready for that, in my opinion, but go ahead.
I think he's fine, but defensively, it's not the same. DeAndre Ayton wants no parts of Phoenix right now. And that's the major thing for me. You got a guy making max money who does not want to be there and seems to have a problem with the coach, too. So in the preseason, he's been performing, but I'm interested to see if that's a lingering issue with him wanting out.
It's a slight hot take, I guess. But
and then you have also just the organization itself with Robert Sarver and the sell of the team. That's a whole other thing and that I think will be a cloud over them as well. So I think there's some off the court stuff more so than it is like their actual talent that affects their standing this year, as well as Chris Paul getting a little bit older too.
Naturally,
we saw he dealt with some injuries once again. And they pulled the choke artist thing in the playoffs, but just for the regular season, I think Book will be Book. I think that's the one thing I'm for sure counting on, but I have a lot of more questions about other things surrounding that team. So I got them at 9, and I got the Lakers at 8. I think they're a play-in team, and I think they do secure a playoff spot. We talked about them extensively already. So I won't go too deep into that, but I think they're about a 45-win team, and with potential to have a high ceiling if LeBron and AD are healthy. I got the Mavs at 7. I could see them a little bit higher. Losing Brunson, I think, does hurt, though. I think he was a really good backup to starting guard for them because he started games a lot for them as well.
Correct. That's
going to be a hit. I think they've kind of figured out who they are as a team, so I think they will have good continuity. But I just think it's still Luka as the only all-star on that team. So
Correct.
I think they could have some playoff success because Luka is a big factor in a playoff series. But in the regular season, I think they'll be below some of these teams. At 6, I got the Wolves. I could see them higher. I like the addition of Rudy Gobert. While I might not like Rudy Gobert, I think it's a good addition for them defensively, especially. I think they improved from last year. I think Anthony Edwards takes a step, and he's already a fringe all-star.
Correct.
I think D'Lo will be okay. I don't think he'll be great, but he'll be solid.
Yeah.
They got other good pieces there with them. I think Cat will be good in the regular season as he usually is. Although that was the weird thing about him losing a bunch of weight and all that, right?
Yeah, he has some issues going on.
Yeah.
So that will play its part. But
yeah,
having now I got a Rudy to kind of guard that could
yeah.
Keep
I'm gonna turn the light on real quick. I can see them being a little bit higher, the Wolves, but I got them at 6. I just think these top 5 teams, a little bit deeper, a little bit more experience. We've seen them do it before, except for one of them. One of them you might have noticed I haven't brought up yet.
I know.
Okay, at 5, I got the Nuggets. I could see them higher. I initially had them like 1 or 2, but I wanted to take a stand on a younger team that I like a lot. So,
am I missing something? I guess I'll jump on with a hot take now. I have them kind of low, to be honest.
Okay.
Actually, no. I'll hold my L on my segment. I'll let you go ahead first.
Okay.
My list, looking at it now, might be a mess, but we'll see. Go ahead.
Okay. Because getting Michael Porter Jr. back will be big. Getting Jamal Murray back, of course, will be big. They have the continuity from the coach to the all-star. Like the team's gonna run the same way for the most part.
Correct.
They lost Monte Morris as a backup point guard, so
they got Bones, bro.
Yeah, but they got Jamal Murray, so
yeah.
And I'm forgetting who they're. Still have like Aaron Gordon as well again in that starting lineup. So it's a good starting lineup. It's a solid coach. They won games with a very depleted roster last year, and they're healthy this year. So last time we saw them healthy, they were like threatening for the 1 seed as well.
They were.
Too. So I think they will be high. They might be higher. Like 5 might be disrespectful for the Nuggets.
Wait till you see mine.
I got them at 5. I got Golden State at 4. I believe they were 3 last year. I don't think they're concerned about the 1 seed, just like the Bucks. But I do think they want home court advantage, so they're going to play for that. I got questions about chemistry, obviously, after what we talked about with Draymond and Poole.
Correct.
Whether or not Draymond will still be on the team, I guess is a possibility too. Steph's still going to do Steph things. They're older, though, so got injury concerns, of course. But this team is still good enough to win a championship. So,
correct.
Top 4. I got the Grizzlies at 3. They were 2 last year.
Okay.
I see you smiling. I got the Grizzlies at 3. I think it hurts having Jaren Jackson out for a bit, but we saw this team was really good without their best player for a lot of games last year without Ja.
Right.
And I think Brandon Clark can step into what Jaren Jackson provides for the most part. So I think they'll be able to hold it down without Jaren Jackson for a couple months to start the season. I think it's a decent coach. I don't know if he's a good coach. I don't know if he's proved that yet.
Sorry, you said Lakers already?
Yeah, Lakers were at 8. Lakers at 8.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was like, wait, you know,
no. Wrong surprise team that I got high. I had the Lakers at 8.
Go ahead, continue.
But yeah, I mean, they have the superstar in Ja. So that top end talent will take them far. And then they got Desmond Bain. They got a solid group of guys. Losing DeLon Wright. Losing Wright hurts for sure.
A little bit.
As a 6-man type player. But I don't think they fall off too much. I think they'll still be a really solid team. And I think they'll be hungry too, just how they went out last year. Hungry to beat the Utah Jazz allegations that they kind of have right now.
Correct.
At 2, I got the New Orleans Pelicans.
At 2, I'm not
mad
at that. I like the Pelicans. I was scared to put them higher, but I like that a whole lot.
I initially had them I think I had them like a 6 or so. I had the
Yeah.
Nuggets higher. I kind of shuffled some things. We saw what they did in the playoffs. No one really thought they were going to make the playoffs. We saw them take the Suns, who were the 1 seed, to a 6-game series. We saw Willie Green turn this team into a team that defends at a pretty high level. And I think they'll take regular season games seriously. Whereas I think some of these other teams will not care as much, like I said, like about the Warriors. Like, I think the Warriors are a better team than the Pelicans, but I think the focus is going to be more so on staying healthy, good chemistry, and being good in the playoffs. Whereas I think the Pelicans are kind of going to be like trying to make a statement, getting Zion back as well. That's 27 points a game at 60% shooting that they're adding to the lineup.
Yeah.
And the starting 5 is one of the best in the league. Like, CJ McCollum's the 3rd option. You got McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Zion, Valanciunas, and Herb Jones, who was a great rookie and defends at a high level.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be a really good team. Devontae Graham, probably the 6th man. Jose Alvarado is still there too, wreaking havoc on the defensive end. I think they're going to be a really fun team to watch. Obviously, it's health dependent with Zion, but we'll talk about Zion a little bit more in the awards section. But we talked about Luka and whose league it could be potentially.
That's what I'm saying. These are other guys that are here. That's all I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
We're trying to crown him already. I'm like, it's not so fast.
Zion looking fit. You know, he's slimmed down just a little bit. He's looking bouncy in the preseason. It could get scary for some teams. When they got to play New Orleans. So I got New Orleans at 2, and I got the Clippers at 1. I think they have the deepest roster of anybody. I like John Wall as a point guard, whether it's him or Reggie Jackson starting. Like I like.
They hurt me so much because I hate that team, but they keep getting guys that I like. I love John Wall, bro. I love PG, but I just I hear you.
Yeah. PG, Kawhi. I think Kawhi has a really good season, bounce back year. We saw the thighs in the picture that you're showing off in the off season.
Correct.
He's looking healthy. He's looking strong. That's one of the better duos in the league when they're both healthy. One of the best coaches in the league in Ty Lue. We've seen him put together wins without both of those top 2 guys. They're deep with Robert Covington and Norman Powell and Batum, and like they have a whole lot of switchable wings. That are going to be very advantageous for them in a lot of matchups. So I think this team. The issue would be, are they going to load manage? But I don't think that's going to be much of the focus. Is like they have something to prove. Like it's been a couple years of this Kawhi and PG thing. If you're just going to load manage again and get bounced round 1 or 2, like you're going to continue to be irrelevant. So I think they're going to try to come out strong.
Understood. Okay. That's a good 10. So 10 up. Who you got again? One more time.
10 up. Blazers at 10. Suns at 9. Lakers at 8. Mavs at 7. Wolves at 6. Nuggets at 5. Warriors at 4. Grizzlies at 3. Pelicans at 2. Clippers at 1.
Yeah. I like yours.
It's a big jump for the Pelicans because they were like 8.
Oh no, I have no issue with yours. I just look at mine like I don't know what the thought was. And I'm not gonna change it.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it as I had it. I'm gonna read it through and we'll just react to it and go after that. So I have the Kings at 10.
Okay.
I have the Lakers at 9.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
I have the Nuggets at 8.
Okay.
I have the Timberwolves at 7.
Okay.
I have the Pelicans
I thought you'd have them higher.
The Timberwolves?
Yeah, just with D'Lo and
I'm not gonna ride. Pause. I'm not gonna go too hard for them like that. I tried to be somewhat realistic with them. I say they got the 7.
Okay.
I have the Pelicans at 6. I have the Mavs at 5. Okay. I have the Clippers at 4. The Grizzlies again at 3, or the Grizzlies at 3, the Suns at 2, and the Warriors at 1.
Warriors at 1. Okay.
Yeah. And the thought was, with them at least, while I heard what you said about the Clippers having the deepest roster, I guess if there's a 1B or a second in that race, it's the Warriors. And they're in a spot where I, again, really believe that there are folks that said LaMelo was the right pick for them in that draft a couple years ago. I still believe that Wiseman is that guy. Yeah. Wiseman is back and has a great opportunity to show that, as well as Kuminga's taking the next step. And the young guys are in that squad that I think can really elevate and lighten the load for Steph and Clay. Clay is back and wants to get rolling as well. He's very excited. We saw all the boat rides and everything. And I'm sure he's ready to do his thing. There are other guys who want to meet their mark as well. And I think they all can contribute greatly to whether Draymond's there or not. And though he definitely is an important piece of there, I think they can find a way to get that 1 seed. With the Suns, even with all the turmoil, I think they're a team that the reality is Chris Paul is a guy that's been in a spot like that a couple of times now before, and knows how to navigate those things. And there's still enough talent. Again, in similar way as the Warriors, whether Jay Crowder's there or not, I think they have other guys who are continuing to elevate their games. Mikal Bridges at the 3 there, Cam Johnson there. Ayton really wants to be there. Now the talent is undeniable. I think even through the issues, he also wants to show when he is on the court that he is that guy and will do that. Devin Booker still is up there as one of the top 2 guards in the league.
Yep.
And they will continue on the court even through the turmoil to have success. So yeah, I have them there. The Grizzlies, I would put the Grizzlies above, but I think the couple of weeks or whatever it is with Jaren Jackson out early on, what might give a couple of the Warriors and Suns a couple more games early on to get ahead of them there. Clippers, I love that at that spot. Again, as much as it may hurt to say or whatever, I do think they have a really very talented roster and staff and all of that. But I do think that load management will come into play a little bit for all these guys. John Wall, as we pointed out, is finally back, but he has gone through a whole lot, both on and off the court, which he acknowledged recently. Kawhi, that's kind of how he operates now. And while he maybe play more, he will play more than usual. He still's going to rest enough for teams like the Warriors and Suns to get above them. Mavericks, as I kind of pointed out, talking about Luka, I think Luka does have a nice imprint on this roster. And they do, even without Brunson, can be a regular season team that has a lot of success. And then going down from there, the Pelicans can get as high as 2 or 3 or whatever as you had them. But for whatever you put them there alongside the Timberwolves, I think they're both teams that are new rosters they're going to have a year putting it all together. And then I guess with that, just looking at it, I'm like, oh wait, the Nuggets are there. Like, what do I do with them? And I just put them at 8. I totally understand. Jokic being the 2-time MVP that he is. I totally understand Jamal coming back. I totally understand Michael Porter coming back and the improved play of Bones and all the other guys on their roster as well. But just looking at the competition, I think it's more so just seeing, valuing or liking the other teams in the West that I had above them just slightly more. And I like that Denver squad. And the Lakers are what they are. And I think the Kings can be healthier than the Blazers. And I think we see great leaps now. De'Aaron being on a team that he can really believe in and things can really make a push. I think we see a better play from him. He didn't play very well last season. I think we get back to him being at least close to an all-star caliber point guard there. I really like the draft pick in Murray and how they put together the roster there. Whether they keep Harrison Barnes at the 4 or they swap it around some kind of way and bring somebody else in. I like the talent that's there, and think that after 19 years or whatever it's been, they can do enough to at least get the 10th seed in this West and get in the play and go from there. So, yeah, Kings, Lakers, Nuggets, Timberwolves, Pelicans, Mavericks, Clippers, Grizzlies, Suns, Warriors, 10-1 as my rankings there. Definitely a few jumps up and down from you, but I can see it going either way there, and I'll stamp that as my 10 for now.
So the biggest discrepancy we got was the Suns. Like,
Yeah,
but like you said, you can see either way.
I can see either way. So
and then
it can work out or it can fall apart.
Yeah, and then I guess the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not mad at your list either because, like I said, I had to do some shuffling. Like, I think these West teams are going to be very competitive, and there's going to be a lot of dogfights between them. It's interesting. Just looking at it now, like how I have it set up, the Clippers and Lakers would play each other round 1 in the playoffs. I got them. I got Clippers 1 and Lakers 8. So
I think also that may have played its part. So like having Warriors Nuggets in the first round seemed like a crazy matchup. Suns Timberwolves some kind of way lined up. Grizzlies Pelicans is a dogfight. And then we've seen a few times now Grizzlies Mavericks or Clippers Mavericks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would play out some kind of way too. So that played its part as well. So yeah, we'll see. I could be completely wrong. I might be hot my way into an accurate thing. We'll see. But yeah, those are our standing predictions for the NBA season. Now we'll move on to the award things. So a lot for award races. I know we've been going for a minute now. We'll chop it up. So
close it out here
for you guys. But yeah, award predictions for us now. Moving on. MVP. Who you guys are your MVP?
I got Joel Embiid as my MVP.
Yep.
Like I said, I think Philly will secure that 1 spot. I agree that Harden could be in contention for that too, but I think Embiid is the 1A while he's the 1B, and they'll feed off of each other. But and I just think it's due time for Embiid because he's been in that MVP discussion for a couple years now, and he's been good enough to win it. Just come up against another guy that deserved it slightly more. So
we'll go back and forth real quick to kind of speed it up. So in the same way that you have Joel, as it's his moment and he needs to capitalize. As we already talked about before, I actually do think Luka finds a way to get it. I think it has to be.
That's interesting. After the discussion.
Well. Again.
And you got the Mavs at what seed?
I had the Mavericks I had them at 5. So that again, that kind of goes to. That may be the discrepancy, and kind of in the same way I had Justin Herbert, and maybe not winning his division somehow, the same kind of thing. So things don't fully fall in line. So we'll see how it plays out, just individually, and we'll clean it up some kind of way, whatever. But just individually, I think Luka is in a spot, like I said, where he has to get it done now, or there's going to be other guys that are going to be coming for that throne very shortly, if they already have it claimed. So. There's already a whole lot of agendas in place for him. I think the setup already is there for him. If they can get higher than the 5 that I had them predicted, I think it's his to win. And I had Joel as the runner-up. It's a 1A, 1B, and I just picked Luka, I guess, as the winner there. So not fully in sync, I guess, with my standings, but I had him there. Who you have the sleeper for that pick?
Yes, my sleeper was Zion Williamson. If they are a 2 seed, I think he's a major part of why they're a 2 seed. And I think he continues. Maybe he's not shooting 60%, but high 50s. And I think is a 27 point per game guy, if not more. And they're going to need him to be that if they're going to be a contender in the West. So I could see Zion making that jump.
I don't know why I hoped you would do different, but I actually had Zion as well as my sleeper on my thing. Again, my individual picks were more so, I guess, opposite of my team standings in that if I believe that they would excel above what I actually believe the team will do, then that's what would occur. So believing that Zion could elevate this team above the 6th seed or wherever I had them at, and could have them potentially higher to that 2-3 spot as you had them. If he does that, I think the award definitely could be his. We all believe that the league would be his at some point soon. And having a team around him that could help him get there, I think now is a great opportunity for him to claim that. So yeah, definitely a good one there. I guess another name I'll put out there. Again, Giannis is.
Yeah, that's not fun to say though.
Yeah, I didn't want to feel like even mention him, but it's obvious. But yeah.
That's the best player in the world, by the way. Just so we're clear, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. So when you have a guy like that, let's just not gloss past that. and knowledge of the greatness that is going on with him as well. I think he's definitely going to be right there as well. So good stuff there. Defensive player of the year, who you have there?
Defensive player. Okay.
Sorry,
I got
Bam.
Bam.
You had.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I got Bam. I think it's about his time to win it. Like if he's gonna win it, it's gotta happen. So,
real quick, I again have the same thing. I think it's his time to do so, and he's been vouching for it for a couple of years now. Yeah, as you're saying, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't have him here, but I think Rudy could be in that discussion again. He's gonna have to carry a lot of that defensive load there, and if they're a good defensive team, it's because of him. I got Giannis, another we know what Giannis does.
Yeah.
But then my sleeper pick, I got Evan Mobley.
Say again? Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah.
I think he's one of the better defenders in the league already. As a rookie, he was, and I think he's going to be just as good, if not better, this year. So.
I like that a whole lot. A name that I think I threw in the pot last year. I'm going to try it again, and we'll see if this works. Pascal Siakam, I still believe in, and think at least defensively.
Defensive player there?
Well, yeah, I think he has more impact on that side. As one of the few guys that can play, that can guard 1 through 5, like Bam and Giannis can do. I think he was slightly out of position last year a whole lot. Then they had him more in a 5 type spot because injuries or whatever case may be. So now more at the 4 and be able to be more versatile on the wing or whatever the case may be. I think on a Raptors squad that I think could again surprise some folks. I think his presence will definitely be felt. And we'll see from there. Is he? I think I might have messed up because is he hurt? I was thinking of that right now.
I don't think so.
Okay, I thought I messed up there. So, I thought looking at things, I thought I missed that. But no, I think if Siakam stays healthy and the role that he's in, I'm on a team that needs his presence on the court. I think Siakam could do that. That was a sleeper name. I guess kind of trying to reach somewhere and find somebody else. Obviously, Mobley was there. I love his game as well. Siakam was the name I want to throw in the pot there. Good stuff there. Rookie of the year, moving on. Who do you have there?
Yeah, this one was kind of boring for me. Like, I didn't think a whole lot of the guys lower are really going to have a shot at it. I think it's kind of clear that it's like either Paolo or like Jaden Ivey. But I got Paolo here. I think he's the most like complete NBA player coming in already. Yeah. And I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities in a bad Magic team. Yeah. So I got him, and then the sleeper pick was Ben Mathurin, just because that's our U of A guy.
Absolutely.
The Pacers going to be that good, but I think he'll get opportunities as well. So
plenty. Yeah, love that pick. He's one of my sleepers as well. Before my main pick, I had Jaden. Didn't want to be in Sacramento, wanted to be in Detroit. I totally get it. Do your thing over there.
Keegan? You're not going to pick Keegan?
Listen, let me finish. I think he has a slightly more prominent role in Detroit's offense than Keegan does in Sacramento, and because of how they highlight him and the high hopes people already have for him, expectations, he has a lot of fans and things, and I guess to the agenda, the slightly more Jaden Ivey agenda than for Keegan, and I think him again in that backfield, as I said earlier, that backfield with Cade could be very special. So I think Jaden could win that award. And my sleeper, yes, is Keegan. I think Keegan actually is a guy that if agendas are pushed to the side, we just look at who's putting out the best product. I think Keegan's gonna have a really special year as well. In a role where the King could really use and utilize him. I definitely think he excels here for us, and could have a great season that gets him in contention. So Keegan definitely is my sleeper pick for that pick.
Okay.
Moving on from there, most improved. Who you got there?
Most improved. I got Michael Porter Jr. I got James Wiseman.
Okay, I like that.
And I got THT. That's kind of like the dark horse because I don't know if he truly pops this year, but I think he has the potential to pop at some point. So I got THT.
For mine, I had Ant actually in the same kind of way as we just saw with Ja last year.
I was gonna say that would be like the Ja situation.
I think Ant takes another.
Ant's already averaged like 20 a game though.
Yeah, I know, but I think he goes from All-Star to closer to the MVP race. He may not get it.
MVP race.
No, he's not gonna get it. I don't think he gets it, but I think he has a real good season. And will be
That's
a guy
that. I don't know if you realize it. close to the MVP race for Anthony Edwards?
I guess it is a hot take. Okay, let's jump into it then. I think Ant has a real great season
for sure, but that's like jumping into superstar level.
On a team that's now really investing in winning and wanting to support him. I definitely think Ant can do that. So that's a hot take. I'll lean into it and say, yeah, I think he has close to an MVP type season. And as a result, similar to what we saw with Jaw last year, taking another leap from what we already saw, he gets MIP there. Okay. My sleeper, as I kind of alluded to, I think De'Aaron Fox has a great bounce back year. And because of the bounce
20
back,
point per game score
again. But people wrote off De'Aaron last year. People dropped him down in a lot of things. They had a lot of guys pass him up.
Yeah.
People did not.
Him Geno Smith.
People had a lot of Geno Smith. People were viewing him like Geno Smith last year. And the same way Geno Smith has bounced back this year, I think De'Aaron bounces back on a team that wants to win a little bit more now.
I don't think he was bad last year though.
Maybe I missed something, but maybe I missed something. Maybe the stats were decent, but on the court he didn't look as great as hoped. And I think he has a real good season this year though, and going forward, I think he could be in the race there. And then my other one also, as you put, I had Wiseman. I think Wiseman has been written off. So
based off those, you think De'Aaron Fox and Anthony Edwards are going to be all-stars this year?
It could be close. I have predictions. I don't have predictions for all stars, but they're going to make a nice effort to be there. So we'll see.
I can see it. I can see it for Ant for sure. Yeah.
Last award, 6-man. Who do you have there?
6-man. There was a lot of guys. I narrowed it down to 3. I got Karis LeVert, I think, as a front runner. Malcolm Brogdon, if he's coming off the bench. I don't know if he's starting or not.
Right.
And then Christian Wood. I think if he's for sure the 6-man, that's a 20 and 10 guy coming off the bench. So yeah, I could see that. Another one was Bogdanovich from Atlanta. If he's the 6-man, I could see that too. Okay,
definitely like those. I actually put Jordan Poole as my 6-man.
Yeah, that's another guy.
I think they're still putting Clay in the starting lineup. I don't know if Jennifer's gonna like that either. But yeah, I think he's gonna come off the bench still, and because he's a real talented as well. I think he really improves this year. He's locked in and ready to go. I think we see a lot of the pool party this year, and I think Jordan definitely puts on the show. And then because he's in the 6-man role yet again, I think Tyler Herro's going to be right there again as well. Yeah. I know it's kind of an obvious name, but I wanted to put that. I wanted to put LeVert, but I think we talked before, and you were high on the Cavs. Something told me you were going to put a lot of Cavs stuff. I left LeVert off of there. But yeah, just to mention those two again, Jordan Poole and Hero are going to be up there fighting for sure for 6-man. So yeah, there's a few hot takes in our predictions, a few obvious picks, a lot of fun stuff.
Did you not do Coach of the Year?
Oh, and then lastly, Coach of the Year. Who you had there?
Coach of the Year, I got Ty Lue because I got the Clippers getting that 1 seed. He's already he's a Coach of the Year type coach. Year in, year out, but I think they'll have some of the regular season success this year to back it up. Yeah. And then I got Willie Green as a dark horse because if the Pels are getting that 2 seed, he's gonna have to get love. So
he's your dark horse. He's my main pick. I had Willie Green.
Really?
Because I think he's kind of in. He's gonna be entering into that Monty Williams lane in the second, where he has one of those top dog teams, but always gets overlooked. I think the Pelicans are going to be really good this season, as we already discussed. And Willie Green is definitely going to be deserving of praise. So he was the pick there. And as a very deep dark horse, I actually put Darvin Ham as my dark horse Coach of the Year. If he can get the Lakers, everybody expects him to be very low. If he can exceed the
like a top 4
things that I said and actually have them up top 4, you're gonna have to give that man some praise for doing so. And he will be rewarded. So I had Darvin Ham as a sleeper pick for Coach of the Year there. So yeah, good stuff all over.
Best believe I'll be busting out the Westbrook jersey very soon for these.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that one. LeBron jersey, I might say something, but Westbrook, it's all good. So yeah, definitely a lot of fun stuff across the board. Those are all our predictions, and a lot of good stuff there. On the last just note, we won't go into a long thing right now. The HimZone, as we've been doing with the NFL, will also carry over to the NBA as well. Very excited to bring that to the hardwood there. Definitely gonna be some fun stuff. We'll have our Him of the Week each week for guys that put on the best performances, as NBA kind of does for Player of the Week We'll have our own version. We'll have a not him of the week for guys that I'm definitely disappointed. We'll have our fits. NBA guys show out a lot more than the NFL guys. We already see what NBA guys are doing, Westbrook and others. So definitely have guys. Yeah, exactly. We'll have our fits for guys as they walk into the tunnel and all that. Definitely gonna be a good one. Then we'll have I called it I call him the Gotham of the week for guys that get crossed up or dunked on, and the best ankle breaker type plays or whatever the case may be. If you wanted to mention that. And then we'll also lastly have a dem ranking for our power rankings for the season as well going forward. So good stuff all across the board. We've been going for a couple hours now, going long, so we'll wrap this up. But yeah, a lot of hot takes in here for predictions. I had a lot of fun with it all. Let us know you guys' picks in the comments and all of that. This will be all through TikTok and all of that going forward. Appreciate all the love. Go Kings, go Lakers, go Dodgers, go
Dodgers
everybody.
In the dog fight right now is 3-3.
Yeah, doesn't get into that game right now. This episode will be out Monday or whatever, but we're here on Thursday recording for you guys. So yeah, a lot of good stuff's on the way. Appreciate you guys for sticking with us. Subscribe to the show and all of that. And yeah, man, we out of here. Appreciate all the love. Peace.
Deuces.
Go Kings, go.
Oh my God.